Hi, guys. Welcome back to my podcast. This is Arun Gala. My podcast is called Grabbing Coffee with Arun. And in my podcast, I basically talk to everyday people that are doing interesting things. And today, my guest is George Alcorne. And George, he was born in Houston, but he moved out of Houston to go to New York. So, just to kind of start off with George, welcome.
Thanks, Arun. Nice talking with you.
Yeah, so kind of start off with what do you miss about leaving Houston?
What I miss about leaving Houston. Well, you know, Houston's got a great food scene, of course.
Right.
Lots of great food in New York too, but I'm a big crawfish fan. I'm not eating that every day down there, but I definitely miss that,
I didn't
especially
know
the
that.
especially the Viet Cajun crawfish down there.
Hmm.
Um, not getting that too much up in north. So that's a big one. Mexican food, Tex-Mex.
Yeah, how is the Tex-Mex food over there? I heard it's
Yeah,
not as good, right?
it's like some of it's like some of it's good. Um, or like I've had stuff that's just bad, and it's a shame. Um, and it's different, so it's not. I don't know. We went to like Candente last time
Hmm.
we were in Houston, and that was incredible. So it's not finding. It's a big city up here. It could be something like that, but not that I've encountered.
That's interesting how you said that because they opened one of those up in Bel Air here recently.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, so they're expanding.
yeah, yeah. Um, what about the traffic scene? Is it pretty bad as far as traffic in New York, or
Well, so I don't even have a car up here.
it's
So I
a?
just basically will mostly taking the subway around.
Mhm.
Sometimes take a cab or Uber, but um, yeah, I don't really have to, drive myself. So that's a big plus, I think, living up here is I don't have to drive because um,
The subway kind of takes you places.
yeah. So like if we're in Brooklyn Heights, so that's just one stop out of Manhattan,
Hmm.
and so we can get anywhere in lower Manhattan in 30, 45 minutes on the train. Um, yeah, I definitely don't really miss driving. I feel like, I didn't mind it doing in Houston. It's just kind of automatic. But since I've been in New York for, I don't know, coming up on 4 years, and
Has it been that long?
it hasn't
Gosh.
been that long. Maybe I added a year there, but maybe 3 to 4.
Mm-hmm.
But I find now it's like increasing for, longer. The longer that goes by, when I go back to Houston now, I
Hmm.
find that I like driving less and less. It kind of freaks me out a little bit.
Really? Because I mean, what about like cost of living? I mean,
Yeah, it's very expensive for sure. So,
because when you were telling me how much you pay for like an apartment, oh my God, George, that's a lot.
yeah, yeah,
I
it's
mean, it could be you could be paying for a house or
I
more.
know.
You know?
Yeah, it is stuff kind of, just costs like double or more up here. So that's definitely a downside.
Yeah, but what about like groceries and all that? Like how much would a gallon of milk cost you there?
Um, Gallon of milk,
Is it
I'm
about?
actually not sure. I'm usually getting like the quarter gallon.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know. It's a bit like I guess I could just multiply that by four.
Right.
It kind of varies. It's like Trader Joe's is probably the cheapest one that we go to up here.
Hmm.
But then there's a couple of other ones that are closer that are a little bit fancier that cost more. But yeah, I mean, I guess Trader Joe's is pretty cheap, but yeah, even that
Well, what about
can be
like
expensive too.
I keep hearing about like New York is like a city that never sleeps, right? So people are always busy doing things.
Yeah, that is the slogan. I When I first moved here, I lived Lower East Side, which
Hmm.
definitely lives up to that reputation. It's, it's pretty loud, kind of more of a party area,
Hmm.
especially at night. Um, yeah, just people out on the streets and cars honking, revving engines is very loud.
Hmm.
But I live in Brooklyn Heights now, and so it's much more, um, I don't know, family friendly. I guess it's a lot quieter.
Hmm. But I mean, for a young guy like you, if you want to like have family and have a couple of kids, maybe I think Houston would be a better place than New York, right? Would you
You
agree
know,
with me on that?
well, okay, you mentioned the cost of living. That's a big factor. People, I feel like, especially some of my wife's friends up here are starting to have kids, and I think it's the costs are kind of, becoming clear. It's like you got to do daycare, and it all
Hmm.
adds up. And it's just, yeah, everything's way more expensive here. So, both of my parents, her parents are all in Houston. Uh, you know, Maybe down the line at some point it might make sense to get back. Um, but yeah, I mean, people do it. You see people strolling, rolling their kids around in strollers.
Hmm.
Uh, it costs a lot for sure.
I mean, like you said, a car is a big expense, but the thing of it is, like, you're looking at apartments are in Houston are like $1,500 a month, right?
Yeah, that's true.
And there you're paying almost double.
Yeah, and it's not like I'm not paying for transportation, but it's so I should probably crunch some numbers a little bit, kind of see what it comes out to. But yeah, I mean, I think even with a car down
Mm.
there, probably not going to touch cost of living up here.
But I know, I mean, the city has, New York has the Broadway and all that, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of
The sh
the
the shows and all that. So,
yeah, so that's the trade-off, I guess, or part of the trade-off. It costs a lot, but it's a fun place to live, lots to do. Um, yeah, you got Broadway, like you mentioned, seeing shows. We should be seeing more, but I feel like we have people come visit enough where they want to see stuff, so
yeah, but if you're spending all
we
that
can
money
go
on
there.
the living expenses, it'd be hard to.
Though that's the other thing. It's some of those tickets aren't the cheapest, so you're kind of like, maybe we go see a movie that's going to be, a little more affordable option. But hey, there's stuff to see. It is cool. Like any sort of like touring acts, they're
Hmm.
always going to come through New York, whether that's comedy or musical. So um, yeah, I mean, there are perks like that. There's a lot going on
I think
if you like doing stuff.
wherever you live, I think it's a trade-off, right? I mean, whether
Yeah,
you
because I
live
mean,
in.
like there's all, Houston has this, world class venues, all that, lots of stuff coming through there too. So it's not like there's not stuff going on there. Fourth biggest city in the country. So it's
Hmm.
um. So yeah, it is. I do really like walking around though. That's probably one of the main things. Not having to drive everywhere.
Hmm.
Um,
So
it is
do.
kind of exciting. Just being around people everywhere you're walking. But
Right, right. In Houston, because I'm visually impaired, and you have to have a car, or you have to have
yeah,
a way to get around, and
yeah.
because you would think like in India, people like to walk, or people like to, like you say, just use a bike or whatever. So do you see a lot of people using those bikes, or just
Yeah, that's
walking?
another thing. Like, I did it a lot when I first moved here. Not as much now, but because I was going between my now wife was living in West Village and I was in Lower East Side, so I would just bike back and
Hmm.
forth. That's kind of the fastest way to do it.
I
Um,
mean, to
eh,
me, the way I look at it, George, is like all these people that have weight problems and all that. I don't understand why they don't walk more. You know,
well, yeah, that's
it's
definitely
very.
contributes. I think I think you get a lot of
I mean,
just
diabetes.
Yeah, I mean, if you cut that out completely, it's like just walking into like walking to the grocery store or whatever up here. You get your step count up, decent number. And yeah, I mean, if you're just driving from garage to parking lot back,
Well, there's two HEBs not too far from me, but you pretty much have to take a car, you
yeah,
know.
yeah,
I mean, it's not designed. The streets are not designed for walking, you
no,
know.
yeah, yeah. That's yeah, that's gonna be a tough adjustment if we move back. Um, I definitely, like the tonight dinner we needed an onion. I could just walk to the grocery store 5 minutes and then I'm back.
Yeah. So what is the biggest complaint about New York? That people that move to Houston, I hear people say, well, it's like the traffic and the
Yeah,
drainage and what else? There was something else that I'm missing, but the heat, people
yeah.
talk about that. So what do a lot of people complain about when it comes to New York that you know of?
Um, yeah. I can try and think of. I mean,
It's
if
congested,
you're
I guess,
coming,
right?
yeah. I mean, it's crowded. A lot of people. Um, it can be. I don't know. I kind of like that part of it, but I think it's expensive. Like that's probably my biggest complaint.
Mhm,
Um, but I think, uh, if you're coming from the south, anywhere up in the north, you got to deal with the winter. This winter's been actually pretty cold.
yeah.
We just had the big snowstorm.
Mhm.
Um, but I feel like you adapt to that. Um,
I don't like
but
cold weather, Georgia. I've been in Houston all
no,
my life, and
yeah,
I'm ready for I can bear the heat a lot better than I can bear the cold.
yeah, yeah.
You
I mean,
know,
it can get hot in the summertime here too, but yeah, not Houston hot. Um, I mean, people complain about uh, you know, the classic New York stuff, the rats, the dirty subways, but
mhm.
I don't know. It's part of the charm.
Yeah. I mean, I know we got a new mayor. New York has a new mayor now, right? How
Oh
long has he
yeah,
been in office?
Zoran. Um,
Yeah.
January, I think he got
Yeah. So
inaugurated.
I guess it's too early to say anything, right? What people are thinking and all that.
Yeah, that's a good question. I feel like I haven't read too much about it yet. He's had the big snowstorm,
Hmm.
but this is kind of the second winter storm we've had. I feel like I saw it was very sad. I think in the first one, and then just the long cold snap after that first storm. I think
Hmm.
maybe like almost 20 people died.
Wow.
Um,
Really?
yeah, I think just maybe mostly people who were living outside,
Hmm.
and so I haven't just some headlines I've seen. I feel like there's been some criticism about that, but it was very cold for a long time. Um, but yeah,
Yeah.
other than that, oh, there was one other thing where he said he's going to. I think he was threatening to raise property taxes 10% unless the state government in Albany agreed to raise income taxes or some sort of tax on the, kind of on the top 1% New York residents. So,
Hmm.
uh, I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. What do you think about, in general, like the people from Houston comparing to the people of New York? I mean, are they more like polite, or are they, what is your experience has been? Like, do they come out and just say, are they more like, oh, hey, how are you doing? What's going on?
Um,
Or are they more talkative, more friendly? I guess is what I'm asking.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I really have like a great distinction between the two. I feel like, most of the people our age at least that we're hanging out with are, kind of transplants like us. They're coming from somewhere else.
Mm.
Um, um, so they're not, you know,
It's
I
hard
probably
to,
should be getting to know more native New Yorkers probably. But like our neighbors are friendly over here. We're in kind of a unique situation where like we're in a kind of a dead end street, um, and so there's not that many units. So we have we see these people a good amount coming in and out. Um,
Mhm.
but yeah, I don't I don't know. Yeah, maybe I can't really see that big of a difference in
Mhm.
my experience.
What about like Houston has well, I mean Houston has a pretty big running community. Do you kind of see that in New York or not as much? Because the running community in Houston is, I feel like it's different from other places,
Mm,
where it's more like, I want to use the word like, you know, I mean, people run in like a, I guess I would say like a pack, like in a groups.
yeah,
Whereas in other places, I notice it's more like, um, people do their own thing.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I guess you kind of see a mix up here too. Um, like I live pretty close to Brooklyn Bridge Park,
Hmm.
which was renovated and maybe kind of unveiled its current form in the 2010s at some point,
Hmm.
where they added some kind of like athletic and park space on these piers out in the
Hmm.
water and then kind of redid the whole water line around Brooklyn Bridge.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, I mean, there's always people running around there. Um, if you go up to, any of the big parks, there's Prospect Park in Brooklyn. That's always super crowded.
And
People running
Central
Central
Park.
Park, yeah, Manhattan, and then yeah, I mean, there's people running everywhere. So there's just so many people here, so it's like you're never not going to see.
Yeah, because the New York Marathon is pretty big, right? It's
Yeah,
I don't know, a
yeah, it's a
couple.
huge event. I think I don't know, been busy or out of town when it's been going on, but yeah, I mean, it's apparently a huge event. I want to see it
uh,
um, next time it's going down, but because yeah, they run through I think they start in Staten Island and then go through all five boroughs. Um, so yeah, big event.
So, going back to the food scene, is there any special type of food that you have there that you can't get in Houston?
Um, yeah, I'm trying to think. I really liked up here.
I mean, it's pretty, uh, it's different, just like it is in Houston, I'm sure. So,
Yeah, I'm getting a lot of like, and I mean, you can get versions of this in Houston too, but there's a lot of good, like Jewish delis up here. So you can get a, pastrami sandwich or
mhm,
like a ox bagel or something with some salmon or I
mhm.
feel like having those for breakfast a lot.
I guess there's a
Um,
lot of Jewish people there too, right?
yeah, I think it's like, um, outside of maybe like Tel Aviv, the largest Jewish population in the world. It's in New York.
Mhm,
Um, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, Houston has so much stuff. It's like there's versions of a lot of the things I can get up here down there too. Um,
mhm,
but I mean, that's you see that a lot. Lower East Side, kind of part of and next to Chinatown, so a lot of good
mhm.
Chinese food. I was eating that over there, but again, find a lot of great Chinese food, Houston.
Yeah, have you ever tried like matzo ball soup?
I don't know if I've ever had matzo
Yeah,
ball
I think I
soup.
want to try that. I keep hearing about. I mean, I think I might have
Yeah,
tried it one time. So,
yeah. Um, Pizza, obviously that's a big
I'll tell
one
you.
up
Oh
here.
yeah, yeah, that's true.
This place called Scars in Lower East Side. That's really good.
Because Chicago, Chicago is known for their double pan pizza or something, right?
Yeah, they've got the deep dish. It's kind
Deep
of
dish,
almost like
that's what it was. But New York is known for
uh,
what? Is that like they have a different?
um, yeah, I think the New York style is just kind of like I don't know if I'm describing this correctly, but your standard circle cut into 8 slices.
Mhm.
thinner crust.
Yeah,
Um,
there's actually, I don't know if you and I have been to it, but there's a place over here close to me. It's called New York Bagel Shop.
oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So there you go. I mean, anything I get up here, I'm sure you can get down there too.
yeah.
Um,
Well,
but
well,
yeah, there's a lot of good stuff up here.
like like you said, the typical groceries are pretty expensive, I'm sure, right?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it'd be interesting to see what a Trader Joe's is down there compared with HEB. But I mean, there are cheaper options, I guess, up here. I feel like people go to, we're not super close to one, but people go to um, like Wegmans or Aldi. I feel like
Oh, there's an
there's
Aldi
some
there
other
too.
options. Maybe I think maybe, but yeah, it's not always the cheapest, but there are cheaper options, I guess, that you can find.
Right, right. I think we did pretty good, George. I think we covered everything.
Yes.
So anyway, I'm trying to
Oh,
think.
okay. One more New York thing, if I can throw it out there. My
Mhm,
my a New York plug I want to make. Um, so one thing I found, again, Houston's probably got some version of this that I didn't know about that I gotta check out if I'm back down there. But um, there's a place that I go to play ping pong
mhm,
in Brooklyn.
mhm,
It's kind of on the way towards um, Coney Island, and it's called Brooklyn Table Tennis Club or Nissan's Table Tennis Club.
mhm,
Nissan's the guy who runs it, and he is the former Soviet Union champion from 1984, I believe, and then like the 8 or 9 time Tajikistan champion in the 80s. So he's a former pro,
mhm.
and
I mean, I've seen people playing ping pong at like community
yeah,
centers where I teach English and all, but
yeah,
I haven't seen it on a professional level.
yeah. It's
Um,
pretty impressive. I've only kind of caught him playing, and he wasn't going all out once. He's usually kind of supervising, but he's very good. And the place is basically like 8 tables, maybe, let's see, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I think like 8 tables in this basement under an office building,
mhm,
and he puts together tournaments like Sunday mornings, and then you can go whenever you want and like kind of pay for the hour. But I think he
mhm,
does sort of round robin tournaments Thursdays and Sundays, and it's very unique. He's so yeah, he's former Soviet Union, and a lot of the people there speak Russian. Um,
mhm.
so you hear a lot of Russian curse words getting
No,
shouted out. Um, and yeah, everyone's it's very good. But
yeah. I mean,
that's been a cool, like a unique thing that I've found up here.
do you just go to watch or do you participate or what do you?
No, I play, I try and make it to the Sunday morning tournaments. I went for a little while a couple summers ago and then stopped going, but I picked it back up. Um, and they kind of divide the group that shows up between um, kind of like you know ranked
Mhm,
level, because you
mhm,
can get like go through the whole process of getting an official score,
mhm,
or I forget exactly what it's called, but you get basically like a number.
mhm,
Um, it's like your official ranking or level,
mhm.
and then so those guys kind of play mostly each other, and then it's kind of everyone else, sort of just the amateur side. So I'm in that group. Um,
You know what's fun? What's interesting is like I could never tell the difference between table tennis and ping pong. They're almost the same, though, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I think I was looking into this. Well, what got me back going back to this place recently was I saw Marty Supreme, and so after I saw that, I was looking up, just on Wikipedia, looking at stuff at the
Mm-hmm.
movie, and it talked about, I think it actually maybe started as ping pong, but
Mm-hmm.
then, it was like a game that, or when it became like sold as like a set of
Mm-hmm.
equipment that you could go buy, like a ping pong set at the store. It was some company was selling it as ping pong, and then that was their brand name. And then when competitors wanted to get in the mix, they couldn't call it ping pong, so they started calling it table tennis. So they could, you know, still sell the thing, but they just couldn't call it ping pong. So I think it's sort of like a, it's like a Kleenex or a
Right.
situation where you've got
Ours.
the brand name that, but then the other people, so, and then I think now it's like the general term is, like at the Olympics or something, it'll be called table tennis.
Yeah, kind of like Xerox. Right.
Yeah. I
Right.
think that's my kind of loose understanding about it. But
Do you remember the movie Forrest Gump? I think he wasn't he. He played in that,
yeah,
didn't he? He played
yeah,
table tennis.
yeah.
He did
hmm
something like that. I don't remember what happened there, but
Yeah. He learns it when he's recovering from his gunshot wound in the hospital,
right,
and
right.
then
It's been so
in the
long
army.
since I've seen that movie. So
Yeah, and then he gets so good he plays. I don't know if they're saying he plays in the Olympics, but or no, it's not the Olympics. It's when they they're reopening relations with China under Nixon. He goes with the American ping pong group and
right, it's been so long since I've seen that movie.
plays
I
them
just
in Beijing or wherever.
right,
Yeah, another great ping pong movie.
yeah, yeah. Anyway, but yeah, it was very informative, George. Thank you very much for doing this. And
Yeah, no problem. Thanks.
yeah, if you guys want to reach me, my email is arun.gaalla@gmail.com. Thanks for listening to my this episode of the podcast. Thanks again, George.
No problem. Thank you.
All right, have a good day.
Thanks, you too.
Bye
Bye.
bye. Bye bye.